Fox 61, Connecticut's news station, starts with a weather impact alert.
Another cold night ahead as we're in a weather impact alert into tomorrow morning. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 10. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Bridget Bjorlo. Check this out. This is the Housatonic River in Kent earlier today, and you can see the steam coming off all that icy water. That's how cold it is. We're holding on just a little bit longer as we could be warming up later on this week.
Yeah, let's check in with meteorologist Rachel Frank to time it all out. So, Rach, when do we start seeing some bearable temperatures again?
I mean, even tomorrow afternoon is going to provide us with some relief. So we're going to start off the day in the single digits. So we're used to it by this point. The bitter cold remains in place into Thursday morning. But by Thursday afternoon, we're looking at highs up around 30. And that's about 10 degrees warmer than it was outside today. So the worst of the cold into Thursday morning. But I still think we have some cold mornings in the next few until we can really warm things up heading into this upcoming weekend. And of course, by warm, I mean near 40. Here's a look at current temperatures. We're in the teens across most of the state, although single digits in Waterbury and Torrington. And we're looking at overnight lows in the single digits for many away from the Connecticut shoreline. At the beaches, temperatures will be right around 10. Last night into this morning, these temperatures dropped back below zero for most of the state. So not quite as cold, although you're still reaching for the hats, the scarves, the gloves around daybreak tomorrow as you're heading out the door. But here is that afternoon rebound. 32 in Southington. I think we'll start the day off with a lot of clouds. Then we'll see more sun as the day progresses. 32 in Montville as we head through the day tomorrow. 29 in Pomfret and 31 for a high temperature in New Britain. We'll talk about that slow thaw as we head closer and especially through the weekend. Your full forecast coming up in just a bit.
All right, Rachel, thank you. And if you or anyone you know is in need of shelter or a warming center, you can call 211 to get connected with their services. The state severe weather protocol is in effect through Saturday afternoon.
We are following several breaking news stories tonight. First, from Hartford, a 12-year-old boy is recovering after being shot. Police responded around 7:15 this evening to the scene on Capitol Avenue near Park Terrace. And that's where they found the boy suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. Police say the boy suffered non-life-threatening injuries, though. It's unclear exactly what happened prior to that shooting. And then scary moments in Hartford this afternoon when police say a car was stolen with a 3-year-old girl in the back seat. Police say that little girl was found safe at a firehouse in town shortly after the car was stolen. The vehicle was stolen from a gas station near Barnum and Boston Avenue. Police were able to track down the 2 teenagers who stole the car, and they ran off from police but were caught. Both teens face numerous criminal charges.
Breaking news in Avon tonight. A woman was found dead in an apartment fire. That fire broke out around 3:45 today inside a complex on Avonwood Road. Police say a woman in a first-floor apartment unit was found dead there. Police believe this is where the fire started, but the cause is still under investigation. Most of the people living there are back in their apartments tonight, though officials say some were still waiting to get back in their units.
Waterbury police are on the hunt for 2 suspects wanted in 2 different homicides.
The first case happened last year, while the other marked the city's first homicide of 2025. The suspects are wanted in connection to 2 different homicides. Fox
61's Kate Pattyfoot spoke with people in the area about the search for these suspects.
Waterbury police are actively investigating 2 homicides, one that took place last May and one that marked the first homicide of 2025 on January 11th. On Saturday, January 11th at 2 a.m., police responded to West Main Street to a report of an assault with a weapon. Police say 2 men were stabbed and 1 died at the hospital. We are now learning that man who died at the hospital was 27-year-old Marquez Ebron. Ebron's family says his funeral is scheduled for Thursday, and as they mourn this tragic loss, his mom gave a statement to Fox 61 calling for justice. She said in part, "No one should have to endure the kind of pain I am feeling today. My son's death should serve as a call to action and a reminder that we all have a role in making Waterbury a safer place for everyone." Waterbury police say Garrett Piper is wanted in connection to Ebron's death and is charged with murder, assault in the 3rd degree, carrying a deadly weapon, and more. Waterbury Mayor Paul Penarewski said this marked the city's first homicide in 2025.
It was the result of an altercation in a bar downtown Waterbury between people that we believe knew each other at the time. They got into a physical altercation that ended up involving a knife fight. 2 people were stabbed, and one of them, the victim, has passed away.
We spoke with someone who works on West Main Street who did not want to go on camera. He says violence has increased on that street.
I've been here around this neighborhood already 20-something years, and to be honest, this got worse over the time. I think my opinion is that the hotel, the homeless people, it's gotten worse around this area because of that. There's really not a lot of patrol around here. I only see them when you get a call after the fact, when something bad happens. It's not supposed to be like that.
This isn't the only active homicide case in the city. Police are still looking for Courtney Franklin, who was accused in a deadly shooting back in May. Police say 3 people were shot outside the Soblunique party venue on Sharon Road. One of those victims, Shaquille Morris, died at the hospital. Morris faces a handful of charges, including murder, criminal possession of a firearm, and tampering with physical evidence. Waterbury Mayor Pernaruski said the homicide that took place on January 11th was an isolated incident and the community is not in danger. If you have any information on either cases, you're encouraged to call the police and can do so anonymously. In Waterbury, Kay Pattyfoot, Fox 61.
All right, Kay, thank you. President Trump wasted no time in his first few days in office, already signing dozens of executive orders.
And one of those orders regards transgender and non-binary Americans, proclaiming that henceforth the U.S. government will recognize only 2 sexes. And now LGBTQ advocacy groups here in Connecticut are talking next steps.
Fox 61's Emma Wolfhorst is at the state capitol with more.
What they're doing, these executive orders, they are going to kill children. Children are going to die because of the choices that they made.
Fear, anxiety, and outrage after President Trump signed an executive order Monday, his first day in office, declaring the federal government will only recognize 2 sexes, male and female.
I believe that it is a cynical use of disinformation to distract people from the real problems in their lives at the expense of our kids.
The executive order states, quote, "It is the policy of the United States to recognize 2 sexes, male and female. These sexes are not changeable."
It could reinforce that there's something wrong with you. You are wrong. Terms like abomination, sin. But hopefully, what I really hope it says to transgender youth, there's some very ignorant people in power.
Amid all the uncertainty, some parts of this executive order are already being implemented, like passport and travel restrictions and shelter access. Ben Klein, an attorney for GLAD Law, has challenged policies like this in the past and says many of these orders could be in court for years.
We do have significant legal precedent interpreting federal laws in ways that protect transgender people. Obviously, courts will now be ruling in the context of these federal policies that Trump is trying to implement, but the EO cannot override a court's interpretation of the law.
Other aspects are more opaque, with federal policy confusion and a divisive, unclear legal landscape state to state.
The real impact of this order is the kind of fear and chilling effect it's going to have. It is going to create confusion, chaos, fear for transgender people.
That's why advocates say this executive order and the many more they expect to come will be a rallying call for affirmative spaces, coalition building, and community-focused supports outside of the law and political conversation.
It's important for you to understand that you are not alone. There is support, especially in a state like Connecticut.
And advocates are bringing back the True Colors Conference, what was once the largest LGBTQ youth gathering in the country, this March.
We need to give our young people and those who support them a space to learn, to celebrate, and to reconnect.
And while all this plays out here at the state capitol, lawmakers are already responding to the Trump administration proposing protective and proactive policy. Reporting at the state capitol, Emma Wolfhorst, Fox 61.
Thank you, Emma. We do have a link to the registration for the True Colors Conference on our website and our free news app, as well as a link to 211 where you can get resources, support groups, and much more. We do want to amplify the Trevor Project hotline. You can call or text them or even chat them online for 24/7 support, 100% confidential, and it's free.
Outrage tonight over a last-second decision by the Biden administration to grant clemency to a Bridgeport drug dealer convicted in a heinous 1999 murder case. Adrian Peeler was found guilty of conspiracy to commit murder in the shooting deaths of 8-year-old B.J. Brown and his mother, Karen Clark. Prosecutors said Adrian was ordered by his brother, Russell Peeler, to kill the mother and son because B.J. was supposed to testify against Russell in a murder case. Russell was convicted and sentenced to death for ordering the killings. That sentence changed to life in prison after the state abolished the death penalty in 2016. Adrian Peeler served a 25-year prison sentence, but remains behind bars on a federal sentence for drug dealing, and that's the sentence he was granted clemency for. The killings of B.J. and his mom led to the state revamping its witness protection program. Now, Senator Richard Blumenthal was Connecticut's Attorney General at the time, and he sent us this statement today. It seems to me that someone dropped the ball, he wrote, here to let this person get released. This was a really vicious murder that changed our laws. It also highlights how we need to take a look at the pardon system to see how it can be improved.
A local boater has been charged in a deadly boat crash that left 3 people dead and a half dozen hurt. 26-year-old Clayton Hackling of Lyme has been charged with 3 counts of second-degree manslaughter. Police say he was driving a boat under the influence near the mouth of the Connecticut River in Old Saybrook back on September 2nd of last year. He crashed, the boat sank, and it took police days to recover all the wreckage. Hackling was arrested yesterday. He's out of jail now after posting a $350,000 bond. He'll be arraigned in court next Tuesday.
New Haven police have made an arrest in the death of Shaquille Chaz Pearson. Police say Joseph Dominic shot and killed Pearson near East Pearly Street and Grand Avenue in November of 2023. Police were able to quickly locate a vehicle involved in the incident, but were not able to make an arrest until last week. Pearson's mother thanked police for not giving up in their investigation. She says the grief will never go away.
What I'm going through right now is the hardest thing a mother could ever go through. I used to see it on TV, other mothers losing their kids to gunshots and stuff, and I couldn't imagine until it hit home. It's the hardest thing to ever go through.
Dominic is now facing multiple charges. He's being held on $2 million bond.